Hey, welcome back to WPWax YouTube channel. So if you have ever tried building a directory website with WordPress, then you already know that most directory plugins either feel too limited for serious projects or too complicated for beginners. But today we are looking at a plugin that tries to solve that entire problem from a completely different angle. So today we are reviewing the Directory WordPress plugin, a plugin with more than 20,000 active installations. The Directorist has become one of the most flexible directory solutions currently available on WordPress ecosystem. And what makes it especially interesting is that it works for both beginners and advanced users at the same time. So let's jump in. Directorist is a powerful WordPress directory plugin designed to help users build virtually any type of directory or classify listing website without coding. Whether you want to create a local business directory, job board, service marketplace, real estate platform, or classified listings website, then Directorist provides the tool to build and manage everything directly inside your WordPress. So what makes Directorist especially unique is its flexibility. Instead of limiting users to one fixed directory structure, it supports multi-directory functionality, advanced custom fields, front-end submissions, monetization tools, and powerful search and filtering systems. All this combined with pre-built niche themes and a large ecosystem of extensions. Directorist allows beginners to launch quickly while also giving advanced users the scalability needed for large directory-based businesses. Now, before we even get into the dashboard, I want to talk about something that I think is massively important for the beginners. This is something many directory plugins completely overlook. Most people don't struggle with installing a directory plugin, they struggle with launching something that already looks professional, because building a directory website from scratch is time consuming. You need layouts, homepage structures, listing pages, etc. And for beginners, that process alone can stop the entire project. This is where the Directorist has a huge advantage. Instead of forcing users to start with a blank canvas, Directorist already includes more than 13 niche-specific directory themes, with even more currently in development. Alright, now let's move into the actual dashboard walkthrough and see how Directorist works in practice. And instead of just talking about the features, I want to show the actual process of building a directory website within this plugin. Alright, so right after activating Directorist, the first thing users will see is the setup wizard. Instead of throwing users directly inside a complicated dashboard, Directorist walks you through the initial setup step by step. So let's go through it together. The wizard starts by helping users configure the core directory pages automatically. This includes pages like the directory archive, listing submission page, dashboard page, search result page, and of course, user account pages. And this is extremely helpful because beginners don't need to manually create or connect these pages themselves. They want something that already looks polished and usable immediately after the installation. So right from the setup phase, Directorist already feels focused on helping users launch faster. And that's an important difference compared to many traditional directory plugins that require much more manual configurations before the website even becomes functional. So the first thing we are going to do is create a new directory type. Inside the Directorist, we go to Directories and click Add New. Now, this is one of the biggest differences between Directorist and many competing directory plugins. Directorist supports multi-directory functionality, which means you can run multiple completely different directory structures on the same website. So for this example, let's create a local business directory. We'll give it a name, choose this log, and configure the directory structures. And right away, you can already see how flexible the setup is. Each directory can have its own categories, submission form, custom fields, search filters, and even its own monetization system. So instead of forcing one structure across your entire website, Directorist allows every directory to operate independently. That's incredibly useful for agencies or businesses running multiple listing types under one platform. Now, once we save the directory, Directorist automatically generates the foundation for that directory structure. Now, before adding listings, we need to organize the directory. So let's create some categories first. Inside the categories section, we can add categories like restaurants, coffee shops, hotels, and more. Then we can also create subcategories for more detailed organization. And now next we move into the locations. And this is important because location-based filtering is one of the most valuable parts of any directory website. Here we can create countries, cities, states, regions, or any custom location structures. And once these are configured, listings can later be filtered dynamically by locations. Now this is where the Directorist becomes really powerful. We are going to customize the actual listing submission form. Inside the form builder, we can now decide exactly what information users need to submit. And the important thing here is flexibility, because every niche requires different information. A restaurant directory needs business hours and menus. Real estate websites need property details and pricing, and more. And Directorist handles this through unlimited custom fields. So let's start adding fields. First, we'll add a business description field, then maybe a phone number, website URL, a social media links, image gallery, map location, and a contact email. And what I really like here is how visual the workflow feels. You can rearrange fields very easily and structure the form exactly how you want. Now let's say we want users to upload multiple images. We simply add an image upload field. If we want map integration, we add a location field connected to Google Maps. And if we want searchable attributes, we can create drop-downs, checkboxes, radio fields, and custom taxonomies. So instead of adapting your business around plugin limitation, Directorist allows you to structure the platform around your exact use cases. Alright, now that the form structure is ready, let's create our first listing. Inside the listings, we click on the Add New button. Now here we can start filling out all the information we configured earlier. So we'll add the business title, description, featured image, location, contact details, and all the custom fields we created. And what's nice is that the backend already feels very clean and organized, even when the listing contains a lot of information. Now, once we publish the listing, Directorist automatically generates the front-end listing page, and visually this already starts looking like a real directory platform instead of just a basic post page. Now let's move into one of the most important parts of any directory website, the search and filtering. Because honestly, even the best directory becomes useless if users can't quickly find what they need. Inside Directorist search settings, we can now configure exactly how users search the platform. And this is where the plugin becomes extremely powerful. So we can enable category filtering, location filtering, radius search, custom field filtering, keyword search, and AJAX live filtering. Now let's say we want users to filter businesses by pricing level. Because we created a pricing field earlier, Directorist automatically allows us to use it as a search filter. So that's extremely important because every custom field can potentially become part of the search experience. Now, on the front end, users can dynamically filter listings without refreshing the page. We can also configure directory-specific search behavior, map-based search, and nearby location filtering. Now let's talk about one of the upcoming features that I think could become a major advantage for directories to users: semantic search. And this solves a very real problem. Traditional search systems only match exact keywords, but real users don't search that way. For example, someone might search best quiet cafe for remote work. Even if the listing doesn't literally contain those exact words, semantic search improves this by understanding contextual meaning instead of relying only on exact phrase matching. And the results feel much more intelligent and natural, especially for larger directories where contextual relevance matters much more than literal wording. So this feature is currently in beta and expecting to launch very soon. Now, another huge challenge for directory owners is populating listings, because manually adding hundreds of thousands of listings is incredibly time-consuming. So this is where the new listing importer extension becomes very valuable. Inside the importer tool, users can pull listing data from Google Maps, public data resources, other directories as well, and listing platforms. So instead of manually building your directory from zero, you can populate listings much faster. Now let's turn our directory into an actual business. So inside the monetization settings, Directorist allows us to create different pricing plans for listings. For example, free listings, premium listings, featured listings, or subscription plans. We can configure pricing, duration, featured visibility, and listing limits. Then we can add payment gateways like Stripe, PayPal, or WooCommerce, and more. Now another very useful feature here is the claim listings. This allows site owners to pre-populate directory listings first, then later allow business owners to claim and manage their profiles. And this creates a very scalable monetization strategy for local business directories. We can also activate the Ads Manager extension to monetize directory traffic through sponsored placement and advertising spaces. So instead of relying on one revenue stream, Directories supports multiple monetization models simultaneously. Now finally, let's look at the front-end experience from the user side. So visitors can submit listings, purchase pricing plans, manage their listings, edit profiles, and interact with the directory without ever entering the WordPress admin dashboard. And honestly, the front-end experience feels clean, modern, and very approachable even for non-technical users. Another reason Directorist feels so scalable is because it integrates extremely well with existing WordPress ecosystems, and this matters a lot because nobody wants to rebuild their entire workflow around one plugin. Directorist works with Elementor, Gutenberg, Bricks Builder, WooCommerce, MailChimp, and more. So whether you are building a multilingual directory, a community-driven platform, or a WooCommerce integrated marketplace, Directories adapts very naturally. And for developers and agencies, this flexibility becomes extremely valuable. So after testing the Directories plugin, I think the biggest thing that stands out is its flexibility. The plugin doesn't force users into one rigid system. Instead, it gives you a framework that can evolve with your business. If you're a beginner, the pre-built themes dramatically reduce launch time. If you're an advanced user, the multi-directory structure and customization options give you enormous flexibility. And if you are building a serious directory business, the monetization tools, advanced filtering, semantic search, and listing importer features make the ecosystem feel very future-focused. Honestly, directory feels less like a single plugin and more like a scalable directory platform built on top of WordPress. And that's what makes it stand out. So if you want to check out the Directories plugin for yourself, I'll leave all the important links in the description below. So if you found this video helpful, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more WordPress helpful tools like Directorist.